Hello and welcome back, everybody. Thank you for listening to my little trial episode last week, and thank you to everyone who gave me some name ideas for this podcast. As you can probably tell, we do in fact have a winner, so welcome everyone to the Kicks and Gables podcast with your host, me, Alicia Owens. It's so good to have you here. Thank you to my friend Zach for the title. I hope you're chill with me using it because I think it's kind of perfect. But we're just going to go ahead and jump right into the episode. So, this is the episode that you've all been waiting for, or really, it's the one I've been waiting for because it's the concept that made me consider doing a podcast in the first place. So, today I'm going to preview the MLS is Back tournament, group by group, match by match. But I'm not going to talk about the teams. No. I'm not going to do this based on performance or skill. No, this is solely based on how nice or how ugly their jerseys are for the 25th season of Major League Soccer. I got this idea when I saw the kits for the two new expansion teams, Inter Miami and Nashville SC, because I remember seeing them and thinking, when these teams play, no matter how good they are, Miami has to win because their jersey is just way cooler, and it's not the color of dehydrated urine like Nashville. Sorry, not sorry, but it's true. Look it up. But that's really what this episode is going to be about, I promise you. I'm so serious about this topic and I'm so excited. The tournament starts today, and depending on when this is posted or when you listen, there could already be matches underway. We could have winners, we could have losers, we could have Major League Soccer back once again, which is so super exciting. But before we get into the whole Kit and Caboodle, I do want to make sure we all understand how the tournament will run. So really quick, the games played during this tournament are supposed to make up for the months that we missed when the season had to be postponed. So there's going to be a winner of the tournament eventually, and they'll get a whole trophy and everything, just in case the regular season cannot continue after this and we can't have an MLS Cup game. So essentially, this is supposed to give the players a chance to play, and it gives the league a champion for this year, even if the season can't be continued once the tournament is over. Now, the tournament itself starts today, July 8th, and it's going to start with a group stage, which we'll get into specifically who's in what group in just a minute. But from the group stage, the teams will play in each group. They'll move on from that, and whoever advances will go into the knockout stage or the round of 16, and then we'll have quarterfinals, semifinals, and on August 11th, we'll have the final with Atlanta United and some other team. But you know what I mean. We're going to have the final on August 11th with whatever team ends up being the best, but it's probably going to be Atlanta United and somebody else. But we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. So each team has reported to the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex in Orlando, which is where the tournament is being held, and everybody there has to follow strict guidelines to stop the spread of COVID between teams and between individuals. So far, FC Dallas has had to pull out of the tournament completely because the amount of COVID cases within their Orlando team just got to be too much of a threat to Dallas themselves and to the other players. And then this morning, or I guess yesterday, the match between Nashville and Chicago Fire was postponed due to COVID cases from the Tennessee team. So those are the only games that have been affected by COVID so far. A couple other games have been postponed, but that has nothing to do with the virus. That just had to do with the teams arriving in Orlando, and then the guidelines that they have to follow once they get there. So because of that, Toronto versus DC United has been moved. It's no longer going to be on July 10th. It'll play on July 12th. And then because of that, the game between San Jose and Seattle will be played at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on July 10th instead of the original time that they had for that match. So there are some coronavirus issues already popping up. But I think that's all that you need to know about the tournament itself, so we'll go ahead and get into the meat of this episode. So I want to break down the groups really quick so that you just kind of have an idea of how this episode, I guess, is going to run. There are 6 different groups. There's Group A through Group F, with 3 groups for each conference. So we'll start in the Eastern Conference with Group A, and in that group we have Orlando, Miami, NYCFC, Philadelphia, Chicago, and Nashville. And then we go to the Western Conference with Group B, and now we have Seattle, Dallas, Vancouver, and San Jose. And then we go back to the East with Group C, and in this group we have Toronto, New England, Montreal, and DC United. Then back to the West in Group D with Real Salt Lake, Sporting KC, Colorado, and Minnesota. And then we go back to the East with Group E, the last Eastern Conference group, and this is Atlanta, Cincinnati, the New York Red Bulls, and Columbus. And then finally, the last Western Conference group, Group F, with LAFC, LA Galaxy, Houston, and Portland. So I know that was a lot of information. I just breezed through it. But that's just to give you an idea of how like the first round is going to go. These teams will all play each other within their groups, and then just based on who does the best and how tournaments typically play out, we'll see who moves on from the group stage after they all get through the matches against each other. So, since we really have no idea how the teams will play after having such a long break and then such a weird training period, I don't think it's fair to judge who's going to win what match based on skill and performance. That's why I'm pitting them against each other based on style. So, we'll start with the first match of the tournament, which is Orlando City versus Inter Miami. Everyone says that this is going to be the new Southern rivalry, and I get that, but I think it's cute that Orlando has so many rivals for being a not great team. They can't beat Atlanta United, and we still call that a rivalry, so I'm excited to see how this match is going to play out. I'm really excited to see if Miami is going to get their first MLS win against the Lions, and based on my calculations, their jersey is far better than Orlando's, so they win my matchup by far. And I'm talking about either kit for Miami, even though their home kit does look like you washed a red sock with your white silk pajamas, but the detail on their away kit I think is what really wins it for me, because the very lightly detailed herons from their logo are scattered all on the jersey, and it's tasteful, it's got style, it's got class, while the only thing Orlando's kits have going for them is the fact that they're purple. It's a unique color for a jersey, and they pull it off well. I'm not trying to make fun of them for having a purple jersey, but I think Miami definitely takes it home for me in this matchup. So next we would have had Nashville and Chicago Fire, but like I said earlier, that match has been postponed. But I'm telling you now, based on jerseys alone, any other team in the league would beat Nashville. Now, I'm a big fan of the color yellow. I might even go as far to say as it's one of my favorites, but I am not a fan of that yellow. I do give them props to their marketing team, because Nashville was originally in the Western Conference for some reason, and when they were regrouped for the tournament, their social media intern or some other genius that they have working for them posted a great SpongeBob video that was very fitting for the occasion. But even SpongeBob can't make me appreciate how tacky the Nashville jerseys are. So Chicago takes this one for sure. Now we're getting into the matches that we'll see on Thursday, so starting with New York City FC and Philadelphia Union. The NYCFC away jerseys have some kind of design on the torso portion that makes it look like a computer screen when you take a picture of it on your phone. You know what I mean? It's not quite right. It looks like it's supposed to be striped, but it's not nice to look at the same time. And their home kit is just a little bit better, only because it's a zesty little blue number. So I'm afraid that the simplicity of the Philadelphia kits just can't hold up. The home kit is bland, and with what I'm assuming is the pattern of their logo snake on the torso bit, it gives it a little bit of personality, but I can't even tell what that is supposed to be. I'm just assuming here. So with that, I think NYCFC has to take this matchup, but it's just by a hair. Moving on, we have Montreal versus the New England Revolution, and I gotta stop for a second. I gotta ask, what is up with the trend in soccer where the back of the jersey is a nice solid color and then the butt flap continues the pattern from the front of the kit in an awkward half-finished look? I know it's everywhere and I hate it. Montreal has a jersey like that. Atlanta has a jersey like that, and countless others across the globe have jerseys like that, and I'm here to kindly ask you to stop it. But on the other hand, New England doesn't have a spiffy kit in comparison either. It's kind of a hard matchup to pick a winner for because the New England kit is exactly what you'd expect for a team named for the American Revolution. It's patriotic, but at the same time, it's pretty underwhelming. So I think this one does have to end in a tie. We do have our first tie, ladies and gentlemen. Now, next up, we have another postponed match. This is supposed to be FC Dallas versus the Vancouver Whitecaps. Dallas won't play in the tournament at all because of the coronavirus cases among their players and some of their coaching staff, and I sincerely hope that everyone gets better soon. So this does end up in another tie, but Vancouver will move on by default. But I'm not going to judge their jerseys in this situation because I don't want it to seem like I'm, making fun of a team that could be suffering right now. Moving right along, we have the Seattle Sounders and the San Jose Earthquakes. And if it weren't for Nashville, I'd probably say that the Sounders have the worst kit in MLS right now because just something about the color and the stripes reminds me of early 2000s video game clothes. Look up the kit and tell me you don't immediately think of your abandoned Game Boy or DS whenever you see that shirt. It's a good thing that I do somewhat like the kits for the Earthquakes, but this one is another squeaker, so I think San Jose wins just by having a better color scheme and nothing else. Oh, and then, no, what do we have here but the team with the best kit in all of MLS, and then another tacky Red Bull jersey. Atlanta United versus the New York Red Bulls. I honestly have to give it to Atlanta, not because I'm a fan, but because the stripes are just more dynamic than a plain black jersey with cartoon bulls on the chest. And, I mean, come on, Atlanta United's King kit, the away jersey that we have with the white and the gold, it's impeccable. Never mind the fact that the gold makes it impossible to read the players' names when they're actually playing on the field, but they look very kingly, which is appropriate for the Kings of the South, so Atlanta wins. Duh. In the same group, we have our other competitors. We have FC Cincinnati and Columbus Crew, a pair of teams with bold color choices. I think I like the FC Cincinnati home jersey, but I can't be sure if I like it because it's a good jersey or if I like it because I tend to like things that are a little obnoxious. And speaking of obnoxious, the Columbus jersey is what Nashville wishes they could be. It's yellow, but it's a good yellow. It's not too in your face, and I really like their away kit. It's black with really nice yellow accents. It's got pizzazz, unlike the Cincy away kit that could be filed under white t-shirts turned soccer jerseys. So I think Columbus takes the victory on this one for sure. Next, we have Toronto versus DC United, which is a nice contrast to our bold jerseys in the last matchup, because these two are maybe the most underwhelming kits of the season. They're simple, they're bland, there's not much to them, and they even have similar color schemes, so it can only be a tie. Now, for Sporting Kansas City and Minnesota United, I'm going to add a new criteria really quick. I hope you guys are okay with that. And that criteria is: which one of these jerseys looks the most like it could be part of a Pokemon Go trainer's outfit? And with that, we have our winner, everybody. Ding, 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 ding. Minnesota's home jersey, minus the Target logo on the chest, looks like it definitely could be worn by anyone still playing Pokemon Go. And it has everything to do with that weird feather emblem on the bottom half of the shirt. So Minnesota wins for now, but they're on thin ice. Okay, I'm going to say this straight up. The Colorado Rapids jersey colors, they're ugly. So I think Real Salt Lake wins just by default, but I want y'all to know that their home kit has a really cool swirly looking thing on the front that I think would win it for them anyway, but they just got lucky that Colorado chose bad colors. So Real Salt Lake wins this one for me. Now, speaking of kits with ugly colors, we have LAFC versus the Houston Dynamo, and no, I am not calling the LA jerseys ugly. I actually really like them. I am just trying to delicately say that the Dynamo jerseys evoke the feeling of dirt for me. I look at them and I immediately imagine a stadium of mud instead of a stadium of grass. So with that, I gotta let LAFC win because their classic black and gold combo just can't be beat. And now, finally, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the last matchup. The last game of the first few days of the tournaments. Folks, we are finally here. It's the LA Galaxy versus the Portland Timbers, and I must say, I had big expectations for the Galaxy. I wanted their kit to be the final win of the episode because I will admit they are the only other MLS team whose jersey I own aside from my small collection of Atlanta United gear. So I wanted a happy ending. I wanted to give it to the Galaxy, but I just don't think I can. I think the pure Northwestern energy that the Portland kits give off just wipes the Galaxy off the board completely. So it defeats one white away jersey with another slightly more interesting white away jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, the final winner of our day today is the Portland Timbers. Whew, okay, that was a lot. That was a lot. I need a water break, and you need a round of applause for listening to me talk for this long about this topic. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Make sure that you like and subscribe to my page on YouTube. And if you want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you can find my handles down in the description box so that you can be notified anytime that I post a new episode. I plan on putting out another episode next week as kind of like a recap to the first few matches of the tournament. But if you guys want more silly content like this instead of like serious commentary, then definitely let me know because I had a lot of fun doing this episode. Like I said, this is what made me want to do a podcast in the first place, so I'm glad I was able to do that, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. So thank you again for listening. This has been Kicks and Giggles with Alicia Owens, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!